Okay, folks, we are going to be learning about another map feature today, and that is a compass rose. Compass rose helps us figure out directions, so we can figure out where things are, especially in relationship to maybe where we are or another point we need to find on the map. So this is called a compass rose, which you see on the screen. The different letters stand for different directions. So you have what are called cardinal directions. Those are the major directions. Like N stands for north. Typically on a map when you're holding it, N would be the top of the map. North would be the top. E stands for east. Typically when you're holding a map, that's pointing to the right. Okay. S, that stands for south. Typically on a map, that's pointing toward the bottom. And then W stands for west. Okay. Typically on a map, that's pointing to the left. So those are your cardinal ones: north, east, south, west. I'll have some corny songs posted here too to help you out. And then you have ones in between, because sometimes we need to be a little more specific. All you do for those, they're called intermediate ones, intermediate directions. You combine them. So if you need to go in between north and east, it becomes northeast, NE. If you need to go between east and south, southeast, okay, SE. If you need to go between south and west, southwest, SW. And if you need to go between N and W, northwest. So there you have your cardinal directions and your intermediate. Now this will give you kind of an idea of what it looks like on a map. Okay, here's our map of the world. You guys have been checking out the different continents of the world and the oceans. So for example, if I'm hanging out down here, maybe in Brazil, South America, and I want to go home here to Pennsylvania, well, my map a lot of times would be labeled with an N here on top of the compass, which would tell me I would need to go north, get on a plane and fly north, right? Or let's say I'm in Pennsylvania and I want to go vacation at the beach. Okay, well, I got two options, but I want to go to the quicker one, to the Atlantic Ocean right here. Well, I would be going east. Okay, typically, and we'll look at some maps that have this labeled. Your compass roads would be labeled with an E or east, and I know I would go that way. So let's get down to what you're actually doing today. So there are two activities. First one, it's labeled compass rose. It says a compass shows directions. There are at least 4 points on a compass. You'll always see north, south, east, and west. Those are known as cardinal directions. Each point is measured in degrees. So I know you're like, oh no, math. It's okay. We're not going to get crazy specific or detailed with the math. Pretty simple. North at the top is going to start at 0. Then as you move down, it goes 90 degrees. It's pretty much your angles you've been seeing all year in math class. You've got a right angle here. It's 90 degrees, right? When you get to south, it's 180. Notice north to south would be a straight line. Straight lines are 180 degrees. Now, west would be at 270 because you're going to 90 to 180 to 270. And then if you make it the whole way around, north, the whole way around, back to north, 360. Okay, like a circle. You've seen that in math. Okay, but don't worry, we're not going to be using the degrees too much. Now, like we just talked about a second ago, you might need to get more specific. Those are called intermediate directions, and they fall between the cardinal directions. Those are northeast, which would be here between north and east. Southeast, which would be here between south and east. You would get southwest, which would fall right here between south and west. And you get northwest, which would fall here between northwest. All right. So for this first one, you're going to identify the number of degrees of the cardinal directions. Real quick, just check out the numbers up here. For example, north is at 0. So if I use my draw tool, you guys would pick up a pencil, you would just put 0, right? It says, hey, east is 90. Cool. You could just put a 90. All right. Then you go down and it wants you to identify the intermediate directions on the compass. These can be abbreviated northwest, southwest, southeast, northeast. Okay, remember you are combining them, right? So north and east would be northeast or NE. So I would put NE. Sorry if this is a little sloppy. I don't like the draw tool. All right, you go around. All right, up next. So here's where you get to practice a little bit. Okay, practice a little bit. I might zoom out a little bit for you guys. So we have ourselves a map here, and there's a compass rose up in the corner to help us out with our directions: north, east, south, west. It's got the intermediate ones there too: northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. And we have different places: houses, golf courses, post office, a church, hospital, different places on the map. Don't worry about these letters and numbers. It's called a grid. We'll do that next week. Right? But if somebody's saying new to the town and they say, hey, the police station, I'm trying to find it, you might give them directions and say, hey, if you're at the gas station, the police station is blank of the gas station. You would tell them the direction. So if we're at the gas station, okay, and we want to get to the police station, we'd go this direction. And so that would be going south, okay, or going to the bottom of the map. So the police station is south. Now you can write it on there, or if you want to just put the abbreviations S for south. Okay, I'll do another, I guess, example here. The golf course is blank of the houses. So we got the golf course. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use a different one because that one's south as well. All right, so let's just do number 4 randomly. The blank center is located north of the church. So if we go to the church and we go north, which is up, shopping. Okay, so we'd write shopping for number 4. Okay, so that's how you do that one. The next one, this one is just getting a little goofy. It's not going to show you a map, but it's the same thing. You've got your cardinal directions, north, east, south, west. This time you have some vehicles, so it's going to ask you, hey, the plane is blank of the helicopter. So you go to the plane. Well, the helicopter's down here, so the plane would actually be north or above the helicopter. So you would either write north, or if you want to do the letter, that's fine. Okay. All right, if you get down to the next one, it is asking for the intermediate directions. So northwest, east, southeast, southwest, northwest. So for example, the semi-truck, okay, this big tractor trailer up here, is blank of the bus. We have the bus. If we go bus to semi-truck, that's that way. That would be northeast. So I would put N, E. All right. Now down here, kind of another goofy one. Okay, this one doesn't have a map, rather it has animals. It might ask you, the rabbit is blank of the cow. So I go found the rabbit, which is right here. Now we need to find the cow, which is here. So if I go from the cow to the rabbit, that's going this way. That would be northwest. So I would put an N, W, northwest. And then the final one is poor Ben has lost his puppy. We got to help him find it. We got to follow the trail. You're going to use your directions here. And I'll kind of show you a quick example. So step number 1, you are starting here where the X is. And it says go 2 blocks east. So we see east is to the right. So we're going to mark off where we've gone so we don't get lost. So I now go 2 blocks to the east. All right, so number 1 is done. Number 2 says 1 block south. South is down. So I'm going to go 1 block down. All right. And you follow that to the end, and eventually you figure out which puppy is Ben's. All right. I would suggest doing this one in pencil. I messed it up a couple times. But that's it, folks. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, there are a bunch of corny music videos I will post as well to help remind you of the directions. All right. Thanks, folks.